Hello, welcome back to the Burn Fat and Feast podcast. My name is Sarah, your host. Today, we're discussing the top 5 hormones affected in perimenopause and how to support them. We talk a lot about perimenopause on this podcast. You are my people. So let's dig into perimenopause, menopause, whether you feel like you're going through this transition. If you are anywhere between the age of 35 and 55, you're somewhere along this transition of life, and you may not be feeling all the symptoms. We don't feel all the symptoms necessarily. You may just feel one or two. But regardless, as we make this transition, our hormones are on a roller coaster. They're up and down, they're high and they're low, and we feel this throughout our day, throughout our week. And sometimes we can find ourselves going, who am I? This isn't me. This isn't who I used to be. And I say that because I've been there, because I've felt that. I have felt oh my gosh, I've never felt anxiety like this before. I also found myself about a year and a half ago going, why am I so angry? Why am I so irritated at things happening in my daily life, and my children, and my husband? It wasn't them. It was me. It truly was me. It was me going through perimenopause and not understanding all the symptoms and what was happening in my hormones, and specifically what hormones were affected. And so I thought it was really important to dive into that specific hormones that are feeling big highs and lows. Now, 100% disclaimer here. These are not all the hormones that are affected when we go through perimenopause, but these are big ones. These are big ones that we see recurring that are on that roller coaster. And so let's dig into this. All right, 5 top hormones affected by perimenopause, what we can really do to help support those. So the first one is ghrelin. Ghrelin is known as our hunger hormone because it stimulates our appetite and it promotes food intake. So that hungry feeling, that's ghrelin. So during perimenopause, fluctuations in our estrogen and progesterone can affect these levels, and this leads to an increased appetite and cravings. Have you felt that? My friend, I have felt this so many times in my perimenopause journey, so often, where I wake up thinking, why do I feel like I need to eat everything in my house right now? Do not pass go, eat all the food in my house. That is a normal part of perimenopause. So let's talk about a few strategies that we can use to help manage ghrelin levels. So eating regular balanced meals for sure, and maybe snacks if you feel like that helps to help stabilize your blood sugar levels and reduce hunger. Prioritizing protein-rich foods. Again, we talk a lot about protein on this podcast because it's so incredibly important, as well as fiber-rich foods. So we're talking whole foods, fruits, vegetables. Yes, eat all the fruits and vegetables. Get the fiber that your body needs to help you feel full longer, as well as healthy fats. That all of these things, prioritizing protein, fiber, healthy fats, that helps increase your feeling of being satisfied, and it reduces your cravings. You can also incorporate stress reducing techniques like meditation, deep breathing, yoga, as stress can increase your ghrelin levels and stimulate your appetite, right? So we want to manage the stress and we want to eat regularly. So in Burn Fat and Feast, we do this many different ways. Yes, we talk about prioritizing protein. We do some carbohydrate cycling types of methods, so that helps manage our weight. We also talk about intermittent fasting because we want our bodies to be fat burners rather than sugar burners. And we teach our members how to implement intermittent fasting well, so it helps manage our hormones and not wreak havoc on our hormones. And so those are additional ways that we teach our members how to manage this hormone. All right, so hormone number 2 that is affected is leptin. Leptin is the hormone that regulates our appetite and our energy expenditure by signaling feelings of feeling full to the brain. All right. So this is kind of opposite. The leptin is telling our brain, okay, that's enough. We're full now. So we just talked about our hunger hormone. This is our fullness hormone. So during perimenopause, hormonal changes can disrupt leptin signaling our brain basically to lead to leptin resistance. Okay. And this is a condition where the body doesn't respond properly to leptin signals. And so what happens here is we have an increased appetite, and then of course we get weight gain. All right. So basically, when this is out of whack, our body isn't saying, okay, we're full now. We just keep eating. Obviously, we're overeating, especially if we're overeating on the wrong things. This can lead to weight gain. So some strategies to help this. We want our leptin levels to be real balanced. Like, I want my body to tell me, yes, you are full now. Let's stop eating. Because if we go off the deep end, that is going to make our weight management issues obviously feel more unmanageable. So the first thing, getting adequate sleep, because insufficient sleep can disrupt leptin levels and increase hunger. Sleeping helps manage everything. It resets, all right? So think about your sleep as resetting everything in your body. It resets your brain, it resets your muscles, it resets your hormones, and it's resetting leptin. So getting adequate sleep is huge. Consuming anti-inflammatory foods like fatty fish, nuts, seeds, colorful fruits, and vegetables, they all help reduce inflammation and improve your leptin sensitivity. The other thing here is engage in regular physical activity. So aerobic exercise and strength training exercises help support metabolic health, and they also improve your leptin sensitivity. So all of these things can help reset your leptin. If you are in the situation where you feel like I'm eating, I should be full, but for some reason I'm not really feeling full, focus on those. Okay, hormone number 3 that is affected in perimenopause is cortisol. I feel like I talk a lot about cortisol for a good reason, because cortisol is our stress hormone. It plays a role in metabolism, it plays a role in blood sugar regulation and inflammation. So during perimenopause, hormonal fluctuations and increased stress levels can lead to dysregulation of cortisol production, which may contribute, you guessed it, to weight gain, particularly around your midsection. You know, that midlife, that menopause spare tire. That's what this is. So I want to just give you a little side note on this, because I still have members in Burn, Fat, and Feast come and they say, I think my calories are too high. I think I need to just pull my calories lower, because I'll never be able to lose weight if my calories are this high. And in case you don't really know what happens in Burn, Fat, and Feast, we really encourage our members to eat more food. We encourage them to eat a lot of protein, fats, carbohydrates. We talk about our macronutrients, those 3 things, a lot. And it's scary sometimes for women to come in, because they're used to eating in a calorie deficit. They're used to eating fewer macronutrients, and we encourage them to eat more food because because of cortisol. When our cortisol is high, our body is going to hoard everything. It's going to hold on to fat. It's going to hold on to fat. So you can drop your calories all you want and nothing's going to happen, because your body is in a fight or flight state, and nothing will happen there. So there's a few things. When you start eating more, your cortisol lowers and your body's like, okay, we do not feel threatened anymore. Now we can lose weight. I know it sounds weird. I know, if you followed the calories in, calories out approach, it sounds weird, but this definitely works. Here's the second piece to this. When we move into perimenopause, we have an increased level of visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat around our organs. The subcutaneous fat is the fat that we see like on the surface level. The visceral fat is what we're seeing in our midsection, and the visceral fat does not respond to calories. It's a different type of fat. The visceral fat will respond to regulating your hormones, and that's what we're talking about today. So cortisol is a big one here. as in all the hormones we're talking about are big here for that visceral fat and releasing visceral fat. All right. So I hope this is helping you wrap your head around, okay, two different types of fat, subcutaneous and visceral. And the visceral fat is really what we're gaining in perimenopause, and hormones play such a huge role here. Okay, moving on to hormone number 4, and that is estrogen. Estrogen plays a role in metabolism, fat distribution, and appetite regulation. So during perimenopause, estrogen levels start to decline, which can lead to changes in your metabolism, increased abdominal fat, like we just discussed, and changes in appetite. And also, it's important to note that it can change your food preferences. So I've experienced this. Some of the foods that I really loved before, I'm like, I don't love them so much anymore. But there are other foods that I'm really kind of like, I'm craving more now. So declining estrogen changes some of your food preferences. So here are some natural strategies to help support estrogen balance and metabolism. Now, it's important also to note that you will have a decrease in estrogen. That just happens. This happens as you move into menopause. But here are some ways that we can help naturally support. Consuming phytoestrogen rich foods like soybeans, flax seeds, legumes, all of these help alleviate symptoms of hormonal fluctuations, and they can help support your hormone balance. Engaging in regular exercise also is important here, particularly strength training, because it helps support your metabolism. It helps your muscle mass maintenance and your bone health. And managing your weight through balanced diet, regular physical activity, can help your body fat percentage, right? So it helps distribute your body fat and can contribute to estrogen balances here. So managing your weight through all of the things that we're discussing here. All right, so let's move into the last one, number 5. I kind of put 2 together here, so it's a little bit of a bonus. Testosterone and progesterone. So testosterone and progesterone play important roles in your metabolism, in your muscle mass maintenance, and your overall hormonal balance. So during perimenopause, testosterone and progesterone levels are declining. Sometimes, again, it can be an ebb and a flow, can be a little bit of a roller coaster, but that change in testosterone and progesterone leads to decreased muscle mass. So we have aging, we've got hormones, all of this is decreasing our muscle mass, and it's changing our body composition. And of course, our metabolism starts to go down as well. So natural strategies to help support your testosterone and your progesterone levels include things like, I bet you probably can guess what I'm going to say. Strength training exercises. Yes, strength training exercises. And I've said this before, but it's really important when you're strength training to have a plan. Have a plan. We don't want to be strength training our upper body multiple days in a row. We don't want to do that for lower body. We're not doing that for our core either. We want to give our body a chance to rest and reset. So having a plan here, this is one of the things we do in Burn, Fat, and Feast. We tell our ladies what to work out every single day. They've got specific workout videos that they're doing with a schedule in place. And so it's important not only to do this regularly, but have a plan of action, because that's going to help maintain muscle mass, and it's going to help support testosterone production when you're utilizing strength training. Now, in addition to this, consuming foods rich in zinc, vitamin D, and magnesium are important nutrients for hormone production and your metabolism. I personally take magnesium supplement every single day, and it not only helps here, but it also helps with my sleep quality. And then prioritizing adequate sleep, stress management, because sleep and chronic stress or sleep deprivation, I should say, and chronic stress can negatively impact your hormone levels and your metabolism. So there you have it. There you have it. 5 hormones plus a bonus today. The top 5 hormones that are affected in perimenopause and a little bit of how you can help support these as you're navigating your perimenopause and your menopause journey. It is a roller coaster. These are natural ways that you can help support. So I hope this helped you today. We had number 1 on our list was ghrelin. We had leptin as number 2. Number 3 was cortisol. Number 4 was estrogen. And number 5, and bonus, was testosterone and progesterone today. Again, we talk all about hormones, all about perimenopause on this podcast. If there's something that you want to see us discuss, please feel free to leave a comment on the podcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Burn Fat and Feast. It's a great way to connect with us there. Send us a DM. Let us know what it is that you want to learn more about in your perimenopause journey, and we'll be sure to add it to our episodes. Thank you again for being here. We will see you again, same time, same place next week. Bye for now.